What the hell are we doing? Bowen, the energy minister, says he wants to prohibit fossil fuel cars by 2030, which would effectively forbid 87% of consumers from buying the car they want.
Well, Alan, of course, what they say and what happens are different things. And it's certainly true if you look overseas, there are a few countries and a few parts of countries that are making the same kind of pledges. I think even Boris Johnson, grown here, I think he was trying to get petrol and diesel cars off the road by maybe 2035. California, definitely. But, I mean, I think for a variety of reasons that won't happen. But I think the more interesting point in a way is what is the thinking, what is the mindset behind the promotion of electric vehicles when there are actually a lot of downsides from them, as well, I guess, as potential upsides.
I mean, I don't understand these figures that are being trotted out. I mentioned in the intro, estimates by the International Energy Agency, 7% of global vehicles, 7%, which will make no impact basically on these so-called emissions. But before we get down to your very strong arguments, how do these electric vehicle proponents like Bowen and Keane reconcile the fact that electric cars require large batteries, often produced in China using coal-fired power, and the electric cars recharged on electricity that almost everywhere is significantly fossil fuel based? So if Chalmers and co are wanting to tax superannuation to drag in some money, why shouldn't politicians stop writing cheques with our money just because they believe with no proof that electric cars are a major climate solution?
Well, yes, I think the point is that we know that electric vehicles are very emissions intensive to construct, right? They're probably up to 4 times more emissions intensive to construct than a normal vehicle, right? And so what that tells you is that an electric vehicle has to travel maybe up to 100,000 kilometres before it actually is more emissions effective.
That's right.
Than a normal car. I mean, the thing is, I think you tend to make the mistake, and I know I do, is that we try and bring facts to this debate, but it's the vibe, right? And the vibe is electric
I'm going to interrupt you there for a minute. This lady, I've got to tell you, she might be a professor, but she has a wonderful sense of humour. We both make the mistake of trying to bring facts to the debate. So go on, Judith.
Now, it's very clear from overseas that what has driven electric vehicles, and the truth is they won't suit a whole lot of people, and they won't suit a whole lot of people, particularly in Australia, because Australia is a far-flung place. But incentives will drive people to buy them. I mean, what tends to happen in countries, and we're going to have that, you get cash, you get, rebates on your rego. In some countries you're allowed to use the bus lanes, toll-free car parking. Now, Finland is often pointed out as the sort of poster girl for electric vehicle uptake. But when you start to look at the details, I mean, basically people are paid about $20,000 Australian to buy one. But here's the point. They're taxed about $15,000 if they want to buy an ordinary petrol car. So is it surprising that electric vehicles have gone gangbusters in Finland? No.